Hey folks, Mike Naso here with the latest on a hurricane that has made landfall in the eastern Pacific Ocean on that side of Mexico. This is Hurricane Agatha, and you can see there it is right as it came on shore. Looked like it was almost a major hurricane, and then it started to weaken a little bit, maybe went through an eyewall replacement, and right there you can see the eye get better defined right as it made landfall there along areas of the Mexican coastline. Now I have the particulars. It's at 15.9 north, 96.4 west, and that's as of 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central Time. We have winds at 80 miles an hour. Now when it made landfall, it was 105. So on the Saffir-Simpson wind scale, what are we looking at? This was a Category 2. And so Category 2 is capable of some damage there. You know, you're getting a little bit rougher than a minimal hurricane, but not quite to a major hurricane like we thought it might be. So it's down to 80 miles an hour now, 981 millibars. It should unravel very quickly, but it came ashore very near Puerto Angel there along the Mexican coastline. You can see a lot of moisture pumping as it's caught in that southwesterly flow headed right over areas of Mexico, and it's going to affect areas there, Guatemala and the Yucatan Peninsula, and even Honduras. You guys are going to get in on some of the action of the wet weather, and hopefully it moves fast enough because you don't want any flooding rainfall. It made landfall near Puerto Angel with winds of 105, so right along the coastline, that's where the wind damage would be the greatest, and on the right side of the hurricane, that onshore flow is where you have that storm surge pushing on in. Now that should subside as the hours pass by. Nevertheless, a pretty good hit, a Category 2 hurricane, nothing to play around with. We still have a hurricane warning from Salina Cruz to Lagunas de Chachua, and that's along the Mexican coastline. Now, what do we think is going to happen? You can see the track here through time. We think it's going to move across areas there of Mexico in the general direction of either the Bay of Campeche or probably more likely off the northeast coast of the Yucatan and the Northwest Caribbean. Hopefully it'll be out of your way fast for anybody vacationing in areas of Cancun, Cozumel, even down in Belize. I know you don't want your vacation rained out. Let's hope that this thing dries up and kicks its way out fast. It might not even go to Florida. If you're in Florida, watch it, but this moisture might head even more east-northeastward instead of northeast, in which case we're dealing with more moisture over the Caribbean than we are over the Gulf of Mexico. So either way, we're going to watch this very carefully. If it does reform into a tropical storm, it will not hold on to the name Agatha should it dissipate. So if Agatha keeps tropical depression strength and then is a tropical depression in the Gulf or the Caribbean, it will be named Agatha. But if Agatha dies and then comes back again, it will get the Atlantic name, which of course, as we spoke about, Alex. So I'm not going to do the screen draw telestrator today on it. It's an Eastern Pacific hurricane, which I do cover occasionally on these updates, even though we mostly focus on the Atlantic. But I thought I should do a little update on this because, as you can see, it's an impressive looking storm. And so we're going to watch it, and there is the chance that it could do something in the Atlantic. We're not sure yet. There's still a lot of time to watch it. And if it does, it certainly wouldn't be a hurricane again. Look at this wind shear. Insane amounts of wind shear. Now, a lot of this is around the periphery of the hurricane, and you can see that the outflow there is creating a lot of wind shear on this map. But even still, Agatha's kind of getting blown right east-northeast in that easterly flow, southwesterly flow rather, towards the east, and that is going to keep that moisture moving in that direction. Nevertheless, that doesn't mean you can't have 40-mile-an-hour winds over a low-level center, some thunderstorms. Boom, you got yourself a tropical storm. So we're almost to June. We have gone several years with a named Atlantic storm before June 1st, which is the official start of hurricane season. So I'm kind of hoping, just for normalcy's sake or normality's sake or whatever the right word is, that we're going to have no storms named until at least June 1st. If this thing gets named, that will of course be a race for whether it gets named before or after June 1st, but it would be probably before at the rate it's moving. So we're going to watch it very carefully. Nevertheless, a pretty nasty blow there along the Mexican coastline. Hurricane Agatha, an Eastern Pacific storm, making landfall as a Category 2 hurricane near Puerto Angel, Mexico. I'm Mike Naso with the latest on the tropics, and I'll see you guys next time as the Atlantic hurricane season of 2022 is just around the corner.